All right, Shalom. First, I want to start by giving all praise and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Kakwadash, Barak Yahweh, Barak Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world calls God. Yahweh Shai being the name of his beloved Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. That's the true names, and Allah Shalom Kwadash, the ancient Hebrew. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. I'm back with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. And the title of this lesson is going to be Many Great Miseries, Mass Evictions. Okay, Many Great Miseries, Mass Evictions. All right. And due to this pandemic, all right, you have a lot of Americans, mainly you Jakes, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know, a lot of people are behind on rent, man. Thousands of dollars, man. Thousands of dollars behind on rent, you know, starting back in March when this pandemic hit, okay? And everyone was forced on unemployment. Everyone rushed to unemployment. Everyone rushed to government assistance. But guess what? That eviction moratorium, I think that's how you say it, is expiring December 31st. Okay, as well, I believe, as well as the unemployment expiring this month, man. So it's just adding to the shitstorm of hell that's coming in 2021, man. Okay, people are already living paycheck to paycheck and barely hanging on, man. Hanging on by a thread, they say. You know, and this is all judgment from Yahweh with Yahweh Shai, man. This is 2nd Esdras 8:50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, right? That's a great misery, man. You know, to not have no covering, you know, and think of the timing of it all. You know, unemployment ending, the eviction moratorium ending, and it's winter time, man. Okay? Right in the winter time. You know, and then not Joe Biden say it's going to be a dark winter. Okay, so we're hoping that this actually happens, that whole families get casted into the streets. It says, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride, right? You know, and you Americans, including our people, you are prideful like none else, man. Okay, you think you can't be touched, you know? But here it is. The Lord is ending your world, man. You know? So I just want to read a little bit of this article from Vox.com. It says, millions of Americans face eviction in a completely predictable and entirely preventable crisis as the CDC's moratorium is set to expire on New Year's Eve. You see? Now, that's mainly when everyone is in high spirits. You know, they're bringing in the so-called New Year, which the New Year actually comes in spring and not winter, okay? But everyone is focused on the New Year, you know? But the people that are back thousands of dollars behind rent, you're not going to be able to bring that so-called New Year in with joy, man. Okay, you're going to be worrying about where you're going to sleep that night, okay? It says 7 months into her fight to stay housed, 48-year-old Kimberly is furious. I'm angry that people can think so little of human life, she told Vox. In 2016, after massive floods in her hometown of Houston, Texas, left her homeless and she was forced to abandon her cat to stay safe. She thought she'd never be in that position again. She got a job, found a place to live, and rescued their 3 dogs she refers to as her fur babies. But after COVID-19 hit, all right, that Crown Royal 19, she lost her hours at her job as a crew trainer at Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, Salak, and found herself on the brink of financial collapse. And that's millions of Americans, man. Like I said, mainly you Jakes, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Why? Because we're entering into the time of Jacob's trouble. All right? The focus is on you tribes. And through this pandemic, okay, of the Crown Royal 19, it has broken everyone's pockets, man. Okay, a lot of people are not able to work. A lot of people are not able to do a lot of things, man. Okay, it's all by design. Okay, to have everybody going or looking to the government for help. It says she fell behind on her rent, and when she tried to work with her landlord to set up a repayment plan, she told Vox that she was served an eviction notice. Now, the only thing keeping her in her home is the Center for Disease Control and Prevention's, the CDC's, National Eviction Moratorium, which prohibits landlords from evicting qualifying tenants for failing to make rent. If she's evicted, Kimberly says she has nowhere to go and will be homeless for the second time in 5 years, and that's good for you, okay? You know, I'm not sure if this is an Israelite woman that's speaking about, but for the most part, Esau, Edom, so-called white man, these so-called white people, these Edomites, they have a little savings, man. It's you Jakes that are living check to check, man. You're under curses, man. All right, you're in captivity. So this might well be a Israelite woman, okay? The scriptures say, rise up, you women that are at ease, okay? A lot of you American women, you've been living it up, man. You've been having it real easy, especially if you're pretty, okay? If you're pretty, all the doors open for you in this society, man. But now all that is crumbling right before you, okay? If she's evicted, Kimberly says she has nowhere to go and will be homeless for the second time in 5 years. Kimberly isn't alone. According to research by the Aspen Institute, nearly 40 million Americans could face eviction over the next several months. Right, because no one has jobs, man. You know, the only ones working are the so-called essential workers, you know. It says the only thing holding back the flood right now is the CDC's eviction moratorium order and a patchwork of state and local protections for renters. Now, the only thing holding back the flood is Yahweh Shema Shai, man. Okay, he's the one holding it all back. All right, because we know that the elect has to be sealed, and it's looking like the elect is sealed or nearly sealed, man. Okay, because now they clipping our videos, clipping our channels like no tomorrow, you know, giving out strikes, you know, so we know we're close. It says, but these moratoriums are only kicking the can down the road. Chief economist for Moody's Analytics, Mark Zandi, told the Washington Post that tenants could owe nearly $70 billion in back rent by year's end. And for landlords left holding the bag, there's been little relief as they've been forced to take on the role of government subsidizing housing for millions, even as their own taxes, mortgage payments, and other expenses are due. Right? The landlords are catching hell, man. You know? Landlords are catching hell in these times. So the pressure is on everyone. It says the moratorium is an imperfect solution and one that leaves a number of renters and landlords hanging. But without Congress passing rental assistance or other stimulus, it's one of the few things helping keep Americans housed. Kimberly is angry at Congress, at her landlord, at a system that asks for personal responsibility and calls her an essential worker, but has no safety net for people who are fighting to work and to stay housed. You're endangering our lives, she told Vox. You're asking us to stop gathering on Thanksgiving, and yet it's somehow okay to put us on the streets? Kimberly and millions like her could indeed end up on the streets right as the U.S. rings in the new year. That's when the CDC's eviction moratorium expires, leaving countless Americans on the verge of losing their homes, even as the Crown Royal 19 cases continue to surge, and which is all, it's all BS, man. All right. It's all a pandemic. You know, right now, they're heavy on the mask. They're rolling out the vaccines, and soon it will be the mark of the beast, the RFID chip, man. Okay, the CDC eviction memorandum explained. Well, I don't want to go into that. Okay, but the point is, all right, a lot of you Jakes are soon to be without a house, man, without a home. Okay, and that's judgment from Yahweh with Yahweh Shai, man. All right, you don't want to listen to the word of the Lord. The Lord's going to get your attention in another way. Okay? This is Proverbs 1 and 23 or 22. How long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity? Right? The simple of you Jakes, man. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you love simplicity, man. All right? All you want is to smoke your weed, make your money, and watch your Netflix, man. That's all you want. All right? You don't want nothing to do with the Lord. So the Lord's going to torture you, man. All right? How long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity, and the scorners delight in the scorning, and fools hate knowledge? Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. And how is the Lord doing that? Through his prophets that he set up, starting with our apostles and elders of great millstone. All right? The Lord he has placed his spirit upon us to give you warning. All right? It says, because I have called and you refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. But ye have said it not all my counsel and with none of my reproof. Right? You don't want this correction. You want to subscribe to this world. All right? You want to subscribe to being an independent woman. You want to subscribe to being a thug, a nigga. The Lord got something for you. I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you. And this is distress and anguish, man. Not having a place to live, being forced out of your home. That's distress, man, and anguish, okay? It says, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. Right, then you're going to look for the Lord, man. You're going to be calling on Jesus and Guadalupe and all that madness, for the Lord to step in there and save you, But no, you didn't want to listen to the Lord, so the Lord ain't going to listen to you when you cry to him. Then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord, man. All right? So now you got to deal with this. Okay, so let me just read a little bit more of this. It says, here's what it does. Until January 1st, landlords cannot force tenants out of their homes due to a failure to pay rent as long as the tenants legally declare they qualify for protection under the order. Let's see. Let's see, man. So I'll read a little bit of this. It says the CDC. Well, everybody's going to suffer. Renters and small landlords are in a no-win situation. The CDC policy prevents people from being evicted if they can't pay rent, but at the end of the day, someone has to pay. I'm not sure who ends up holding the bag. Everybody's going to suffer. Local governments are going to suffer when taxes can't get paid. Banks are going to suffer when they're not getting paid. Bondholders are going to suffer. Everyone's going to feel the pain. All right? It's a shitstorm coming. It says the moratorium doesn't include debt forgiveness and billions in back rent, and late fees are accumulating. These costs are piling up, not just for big corporations, private equity, and banks, but for average Americans like Marita, a 51-year-old from Whittle, Connecticut, who's seen her $65,000 annual income dry up during the pandemic. You see, her money is dwindling. Marita's income used to come from a commercial property she co-owned with her two brothers, but after the two occupying restaurants had to shut down, the building has become a liability as taxes and upkeep costs pile up without the unusual accompanying rent payments, right? And these restaurants, man, they've been taking major L's, man. You know, at first they were playing the devil's game when the shutdown happened, and they were able to do outdoor dining. And then the snake bit them and told them they can't do no more outdoor dining, man. So they adjusted to the outdoor dining, paid for extra stuff, and in the end took an L, man. Okay? And they thought they were set. It says, now for the first time in her life, Marita is on food stamps, $15,000 in credit card debt, and owes her landlord over $11,000 in unpaid rent. You see? A lot of people living off government assistance and their credit cards, man. Okay? And owes her landlord over $11,000 in unpaid rent. Look at that, man. $11,000. Where you gonna get that from? She has no idea how much she owes in late fees. She's afraid to look. If Marita gets evicted, she told me her only option will be living in a car, and that's that has increased, man, tremendously in these last years, man. You know, I know down here in Southern California, man, homelessness is crazy. You know, homelessness is crazy. Okay. It says, and we're talking Jakes and Edomites. You really see a lot of Edomites homeless now, man. All right. A lot of RV living. It says Marita's story is an extreme case. Most of the landlords I spoke with were not on the brink of losing their homes, but her story illustrates an important point about the diversity of Americans burdened by this crisis. Most affordable housing in America is owned by individual investors or mom and pop landlords. This can be surprising because many people think of rental property owners as being part of a giant corporations, but 41% of the nation's 48.2 million rental housing units, not just affordable housing units, are owned by these mom and pop property owners. Research from the Urban Institute shows that the average rent in small rental properties is less than the median for single-family rentals, medium-sized apartment buildings, and large apartment buildings. And in 2018, the median income for a 2 to 4 unit landlord was $67,000. Renters of these units are predominantly Black and Hispanic, and they have the lowest median household income when compared to renters of other types of properties. You see, who are the so-called Blacks and Hispanics? Israelites, man. This means that renters of small properties tend to be poorer and tend to work in industries that were most harmed by the Crown Royal 19, and that's all by design. All right. First by Yahweh Shemel Shai, man. Okay, this is the Lord, putting it in these devils' mind to do this. It says food service, retail, and construction, to name a few. On top of that, the landlords they rent from are some of the least capable of observing the loss of income from unpaid rent. Many of these landlords have mortgages of their own, and all of them are required to maintain their properties, which means operating costs continue even as rent payments decline. All right. It goes on and on, but that's the gist of it, man. Okay. Millions of you Jakes, you're being forced, man. Or you might be forced out of your homes come the new year, man, because these landlords are ready. And once that eviction moratorium is lifted, they have the green light, man. So we're going to see what happens. So Lord's was edifying. A little longer than I expected, but Lord's was edifying. I'm going to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Kakwadash. Great miseries, or many great miseries, mass evictions. Shalom.